Hey guys, Karen with Cook Ministries, and wanted to take just a minute tonight to kind of do like a debrief, if you will. Yes, we will talk about this here momentarily, so you might want to stick around for that little story. Oh gosh, today's been a great day. This evening, Sheila and I were able to actually bring Just Breathe over to Trafford, Alabama. So thank you to Allison Spradlin and Restoring Joy, everyone that direction that came and was with us tonight. It was amazing. It was absolutely a God ordained time. Um, there's just so much information in this between Sheila and I both that we really feel like we probably need to turn this into like a 2-day conference. So pray with us about that. If your church or your organization would be interested in hosting us for a couple of days to bring this, please let us know. We would be glad to do that. Absolutely go wherever the Lord opens the door. Just Breathe, if you're not aware of that, it is about suicide. One of the things I talk about on the podcast with Kelly Jo is Kelly Jo and I have this thing to where it's actually real life struggles, real life daily experiences, just life in general, and just being real, being raw and vulnerable about stuff. Just Breathe is really that too. It's a lot of vulnerability. It's talking about things that are very personal, about things that are very I say, here we are, put your boots on because we're going knee deep. But we talk about suicide statistics, the history of suicide from thousands of years ago down through the ages, how it was viewed, how people were treated, and we go into talking about addiction, about making drugs the ritual with that, about formulas, about sorcery, about witchcraft. We talk about suicide contagion and soul ties. We talk about suicide hereditary and generational curses, how to have the mindset of Christ and how to have freedom through Christ, to have deliverance through Christ. So it's a lot of information, but it's really good. So yes, we've had this class on the books for a little while. So coming up to the class this last week, this is where I'm just going to be real and vulnerable with you guys. The battery went out on my car. Financially, I was not prepared for that. God provided. On my way to the class today, my air conditioner just quit working. I literally was just in my car, not even 1 hour before leaving for the class, and the car was fine. And I get in it and start heading to class, and the air conditioner is not even working. And I joked about it at class. I pulled over on the side of the road, and I had a conversation with the Lord. And we talked, and we prayed about some things, and I get back in the car and head on to class. And lo and behold, the air conditioner comes on and it starts working. Again, God provides. The topics that we talk about in this class are very personal, are very in depth, and it is knee deep if you've never been a part of talking about soul ties and deliverance and demonic influence. It's just heavy stuff. So yes, the devil's been on me for quite a while, but more so the last week. And we get to class today. Everything is fine. The way that we handle the class is we both get up for just a moment, and then I actually get up and I talk and teach for a little while with a little PowerPoint and all of that information. And then when I'm to a certain section, a certain part, then Sheila gets up and she finishes the class. I'm almost done with class today on my part, and I start getting hot. More so. It was a little hot in the building. There were other people in there and they were fanning, but standing up behind the pulpit and talking, it was getting more and more, more and more, more and more. And I'd had my water, I was drinking. And then I'm just going to tell you, the next thing that I remember is Sheila's arm around me, and she's right here in my ear praying. I had passed out. It's okay to laugh because I've been laughing all evening. And I hit my nose, my whole head, I fell forward on the pulpit. So with that being said, boo-boo, yes. But yeah, Sheila was there. She prayed in my ear continually. And so I was able to get up out of the floor. And what do you know? There was a nurse in the class and she's checking on me. So, and yes, they called the fire department, Lord help. And they get there and the guy's like, do you think you need to go in an ambulance? And I said, no, I don't need to go in no ambulance. I'm fine. So he had to cancel the ambulance. I was like, oh my goodness, we're not done with class. Like, we need you to do what you gotta do because we're gonna finish class here in just a minute. What's funny? Oh yes, that all was funny too. But what's funnier, the very part of the class that I get to, my section, up on the screen, it says, does it run in your family? Now, I'm telling you what, I joke with these folks that were there. I'm like, this was not an intentional class demonstration, but it was so perfect. You can't make this stuff up. I was at the point in the presentation about how things run in your family. You know, when you go to a doctor, what do they ask? And sure enough, these two guys come in and they start asking me, have you had this, this, and this? What about your family? I mean, the perfect demonstration. That could not, I'm sorry, it's just funny. That could not have been timed any more better, any more perfect. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm fine, by the way. You know, they asked me all these questions. My nose is not broke. It is very sore. It bled for quite a while, but I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. But what I'm here to tell you and wanted to say tonight is a little bit about faith. So we have faith that God provides. God's provided all week for things that I have needed and some things that I needed to get through. He provided when I fell this evening, because right where I was, Sheila was literally sitting right within arm's reach, and she tried to catch me as I was falling. And not only did she catch me, and she wrapped her arm around me and began praying, God provided a nurse that was sitting at the same table. So when I tell you that we just need that faith to believe that no matter what we go through, whether it is financial struggles, if it's relationship trouble, if it is marital troubles, if it's those relationships with kids or grandkids, our siblings, our parents, things on our job, we all go through things. But I'm telling you, God provides. And I wanted to read something to you this evening. And I love this Bible. It's the Care and Counsel Bible. Where I attend school, they actually gave this to us. It's just really neat. But this is a key passage in Hebrews 11 talking about faith. And this is what I wanted to read. To have faith means more than just to believe. Hebrews defines faith as a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith starts out certain. You hear that? Faith starts out certain. When people believe that God will fulfill his promises, they are showing true faith. Even when they don't see the evidence, despite trusting in the character of God, believing his promises, and knowing that his rewards are sure. Jesus said to Thomas, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." When people have faith in God, they know without a doubt that he will keep his promises. They live and make choices in this world, based on the unseen reality of their future home in heaven. They persevere in their faith despite pain, hardship, or persecution because they are convinced that the unseen God is in them. In short, faith in God makes all the difference, both now and for eternity. So I just wanted to encourage someone today because I know, like I said, I had been through some things this last week, and God provided. God opened doors. He's done things for me down to the point that even I honestly believe, let me back up for a second. I honestly believe that the devil was all out mad about this class. I believe that with everything in me. So yes, he threw a lot of distractions and disappointments, if you will, and hard hurdles to jump across and things. But through it all, I didn't lose my praise. I praised God. I continually praised him and thanked him for everything. And I knew that God was going to provide. I knew that God was going to move some mountains and he was going to make a way. And so much so that tonight God made a way again. I might have fell and got some boo-boos, and I had to laugh a little bit about it because I had said after class was over, we were talking, and I had made the comment that Sheila done a wonderful job tonight, and I felt like, like my part is kind of like the teaching part. I get up and I tell all of these things and teach some things, and Sheila really preaches. She brings it in. So I'm like, Sheila has the meat. She, you know what I'm saying? She's got that meat. So she's bringing the word. And in the book of Chronicles, it actually tells us how the worshipers go out first in battle. And if you know me, you know I play piano and sing. I'm a worshiper. So I told Sheila, I was like, yep, right on the nose. I went out to battle. I'm good. I just have to laugh and say, the devil's a punk. He's a liar. And I don't care what it looks like tomorrow. It doesn't even matter to me. It'd be kind of funny if it was big, black, and blue. I don't care. Because I know God's good. That's the bottom line. God's good. And I have faith to know that he provides and takes care and handles everything. He is there waiting for us. So no matter where I go, what I step into, he is there waiting. He's there providing. He knows what we're going to go through. He knows the things that's ahead for us. And he loves us. He gives us that free will, that choice. We talked about that tonight in class, about the free will and about how it's a mindset. We have to choose, keep the blinders on. Sheila talked about blinders, and I actually did a study one time about how horses wear blinders, and it's to keep them focused on what's straight ahead. They don't get distracted by things on the side of them. So we have to stay focused and just continue to keep the faith. So I say all of that tonight, that I hope that all the junk I've been through this last week, down to my nose, I just hope it touches somebody. I hope that you are encouraged, and I hope that if you had thoughts of losing faith and being discouraged, that you just take this moment to know that God loves you, and I love you, and I'm praying for you, and it's not over yet. We talk about, Kelly Jo and I talk about on the podcast, like, this is Voices of Redemption, and your story isn't over yet. And it's not. Your story's not over. So much more that you have to offer to many people around you, to those you've not even met yet. So I just want to encourage somebody today to keep the faith. That's all it's about. Be encouraged. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. And next time, I'm not going to fall down. How's that? See you later.